Today, I'm gonna interview a CEO of a big business, a really nice guy. We are gonna interview a person who has been playing a long time, and he has been able to go through many situations. He's a man of systems, good thinking, good values, and today we have the honor and the pleasure to have here with us. I'm gonna ask him like really deep questions. We know that business is not about like flowers and things go really good always. So we are gonna go deep on which things he has made, which things he has gone through. So thank you, Michael, for having us here. It's a really nice pleasure for me. I'm really grateful. So
thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So for those that don't know you, who is Michael and what's CopeCart?
Well, Michael is just a simple boy from the countryside in Germany.
Okay.
We had more cows and trees and people where I'm from. And that's me, simple guy. And CopeCart enables creators like also yourself, but so many other people and also online entrepreneurs, so people who want to sell digital, to sell it very easy. So we build the infrastructure to ensure at the core that we take care of the payments, that you can pay with Apple Pay, Google Pay, MasterCard, PayPal, you name it. Also buy now, pay later solution. And next to that we build a whole ecosystem. We just make it super easy.
I've seen that.
Yes, I like that. So super easy to sell online. And that's my passion. That's the passion of 140 people who get up every morning to make this 1% better.
Yeah, I've been speaking with your team.
Good.
They are really like passionate about what they do.
Nice.
If we go into sales, these are really good component.
Yeah.
But what is the real truth about leading a big company? What's behind on a daily basis on leading this kind of company?
Greatness is a choice. That means that building a great company and a big company always has to start at one point, right? So it's not, and whoever's listening out there, that you need to start perfectly. It's never the perfect moment and the perfect. It's just that I think at the core, you need to understand to have values of the right people. So one answer would be for sure to have the right people in the bus. People have also similar values who define what the company is and especially what the company is not.
Many people, many CEOs, they are scared about going to zero. That's why they start taking less risks and they stop growing. I think that we should not be scared about growing or failing. Mm-hmm. But if you went to zero, to scratch, how did you build like from scratch again CopeCart? Which like 3 steps would you do in order like to start again what you have now?
I think it really starts with the people. As simple as it sounds, you have to choose the people you want to have in your bus. So you go all together into a bus. Then you define the values. What do you stand for? What you don't stand for? Very essential.
Yeah.
And I did this very early. I didn't originally start at CopeCart, but when one of the founders asked me to scale the business, yeah, I said, this is what I'm willing to do and this is what I'm not willing to do. We don't want to do weapon. We don't want to do pawn. We don't want to do other payments in gambling, for example. So we defined very clear the values. That's what I would do today again. And then I would ask in the room, who is the bus driver? Right now they always show it to me, that's the CEO. Because at the end there's only one person who can actually steer the wheel and say we go now left and right. But before we start, I would look back to everyone and say, where do we want to go? Right? Do we want to go north? Do we want to go south? And then they say, hey, we really like surfing and we like the beach and, and the warm weather like in Spain. So let's go south. So you have a high level direction. I would start the bus and hit going. And all the details you would find on the way. right? So again, if you start a business starts small, brick by brick, step by step, mile by mile, and I think that I would realize that there's also no quick win. So don't underestimate the different phases in a business. And at the beginning, it's the honeymoon. We have a new idea. Let's start. It's great. But later on, it will be also some rainy days, some tough days, right?
Yeah.
And sticking to the value and having the right team, your army around you, your SWAT team, you know where you can go no matter what, who picks you up, who does not leave anyone behind. That is, I think, the companies that will win.
Point. No leading people going down.
Exactly. Yeah.
What's the real truth about your position, your role? Because many people think that being a CEO is a really cool position. They want to be like where you are right now, like having a big company, living how you live. But what's the dark side of it?
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's true and funny but true. On the way to the podcast studio today, I was thinking about that people always probably admire to have this position, but don't underestimate also the side effects of it. And it's not doing this podcast today, what's my main task of the day. It's those other 10, 11, 12 hours where I also have to steer sometimes very complex and complicated things. I think it's those times who define the CEO. So on the one hand, you have kind of the pressure, of course, from your team to kind of build a dream team. I'm not a big fan of saying we are family, we're CopeCart family, we are a dream team. And earlier when we talked, you said, Michael, boy, you guys have so amazing values in Spain. You said this guy has. I said, yeah, Gregory, greetings. He has. But I heard the same thing about our person who runs the UAE team yesterday.
Yeah.
About somebody who says, Michael, it's just like amazing. And again, it comes back to the value and building a dream team. Dream team means every day you have to perform your best, right? When you're a soccer team and Ronaldo and so on, every time he's on the pitch, he gives his all. And that's what a dream team is about, to not be the weakest link in the chain. So, long story short, as a CEO, yes, you have benefits sometimes, but I think a good CEO should pass it on, and I hope I'm doing that. The good things you should pass on, and the shitty things, sorry to say so, you should stand up with chest and say, it was me, I take the blame. And I take the blame when things don't go well in our company, when people make mistakes, when customers are not happy. Luckily, we don't have this often, but everybody is making some mistakes, especially when you want to grow a little bit outside the comfort zone. So then you have also the customer pressure. Then also you have different shareholders in companies and different business partners. So you can underestimate the CEO compared to maybe just an employee who has only one manager to make happy.
Yeah.
He has already a big area of business partners, customers, employees, and shareholders to make happy.
Yeah. And if we go deep into that, how do you manage it when you are not okay?
I think every day I need to have some time for myself as well.
Okay.
Right? So for me, it's very easy. It's God, family, CopeCart. So it's a very easy step, right? And it starts with God, it continues with my family, and it continues with CopeCart. But that means those three steps I need to have for me cleaned up. So I need to have some time at the beginning for myself, for my face, but then also for my family. This morning we did an ice bath together, my wife and me. My daughter only puts in her fingers and already has an ice bath. And I think that's important.
Do you work on weekends?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a weekend or not. Like today is actually day off. Somebody texted me this morning. Yeah, no, it's actually day off in Germany and also here in
Germany
Dubai.
also?
Yeah, in Germany also, and also here. And so it's
we pay no parking.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, good to know. Actually, yeah. But there you see that I don't have this in me. It's I think you only be sustainable, successful if it's almost a bit of a passion combined with a beast mode in you, right? So it's like an ongoing desire to improve things and to bring things forward. And then you don't think that it's a Saturday or Sunday to improve things. You're permanently on a road. And entrepreneurship is not a sprint; it's a marathon.
Yeah, completely. Agree.
And I think that's important to understand. And you don't want to lose too much time in a marathon.
No, you need to be constant.
Yeah.
If we go deep into strategy, which thing do you think nowadays that in terms of digital like growth
Yes.
is like true, but in your point of view, it's not that true?
So you mean that digital growth will happen at the moment or not?
So which things do you think it's controversial that in terms of growing a business, a digital business, it's true, but you think it's not, or you think the opposite thing?
Right. Yeah, I think growing a digital business is almost similar to any other business as well. So you have different plateaus or levels you will reach where you have to act differently to reach the next level.
Okay. What
right?
has came, so
Yes.
what you have done to reach that level,
Yes.
it doesn't work for the next level, no?
Yes, exactly. And you can call it like a game, right? I wasn't a big gamer, but some of my friends and business partners actually were. They told me, Michael, you should play some more games to understand where we are coming from. And I think I do understand it, that you need to reach different levels, and that means in business at one point you need to also say maybe goodbye to people who brought you where you are, like a management team. As I said, it's a dream team. Now, this manager in each position has a chance to develop her or himself to be ready for the next level.
Yeah.
Or they say, no, I'm fine. I don't need to learn anymore. I know what I know. But then you realize that the company outgrows the person, if that makes sense, right? So the company is growing, but then there comes a plateau. And to not reach that, you need to understand that in today's world, every day you need to work on yourself and get 1% better, as I said. I don't really think about big steps are very important. I think it's this 1% that makes it different over time.
This is something that I think you are leading a lot in your team. I mean, like doing like really small or big steps, but not like the quick win, like trying to build something solid.
Yeah.
And it's something I really admire from you, from your team,
Thank you.
For everything that I've been studying about you and learning about you. So I have a really like deep question. This could be like a bit controversial, but I really want to know, because sometimes we need to work on our intuition in order like to grow.
Yes.
So what's the most unpopular decision for you, for your team, for your family that you have made in your business, that you would still defend with everything you got, but in the other side, everyone tells you, no, man, you're crazy, you shouldn't do that. But at the end of the point, it worked.
So first of all, I need to say I'm not always right, by far not.
Yeah.
And it's very important to understand that as a CEO, you need to take a decision at one step. It's always better to take a decision instead of not taking a decision.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So let's say I'm standing in front of this, this stop, and I can go left around or I can go right side around. And the worst thing I think is sometimes for as a CEO, as a business leader, be the captain of the ship and just stop the ship. It's almost not possible. No. And then should we go on left or right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Sometimes it actually doesn't matter.
Okay.
As long as you go.
Okay.
And if you go left, and you turn out on the other side, it's fine. And people will say, oh, you should have gone right. You should have gone right. Yeah. But you never knew on the way what comes, right? Sometimes when you go left, you should also be able to say, I was wrong. Yeah. Let's go back. Yeah. Why? Because now you have new information. Now you went a little bit left and you saw some more things in the water or things coming towards the end. Yeah. Do it make sense? So don't be afraid of changing your opinion if you have new information. And also don't be afraid to make decisions. I think when you have 70% of facts right, go for it. right? It's speed. Success needs speed. Success needs speed.
Yeah.
Success needs speed. So let's give also the speed at the top, and the speed of the leader is the speed of the team. The speed of the leader is the speed of the team. So I think that is important. Now to the question of unpopular decisions. I had to let go of people. We both were crying. I was crying emotionally. He was crying as well. And I said, I know it's the best thing for yourself as well as for the company. And any one of them, and I'm almost a bit proud of it, came back to me and said later on, thank you so much. And some are actually working for us again. So it's also that sometimes you have to also let certain people go, develop themselves, find maybe the missing piece in their in the development, and then they come back. So I think that's some maybe unpopular decision when it comes to people, where you also sometimes need to focus on being leaner again as a company, right? Especially for what we do, software. You sometimes develop features, and then you have to push them out in the market again, and then you need more manpower, then you need less. Then the market is going also, in waves. It's not straightforward, and America has new tariffs. Then you have this new interest rates. So things change when you are, so small things sometimes make a big impact when we talk about bigger volume, what we're also doing. So that's why you sometimes have to do the unpopular decision. But do it also with clear values and with authenticity and with good communication. And then I think people understand it sooner or later.
Do you think like the worst leaders are the ones that they don't communicate transparent to their people?
No, I think you should be transparent as much as you can, and
what
keep
do you mean with that?
Yes, and keep for yourself as much as needed.
Okay.
So be as transparent as you can. So put everything out there, whatever you can.
Okay.
But in certain situation, just pass on the information that is needed. And I'll tell you now also why. We had different situations. For example, as a fintech company, you get lots of cyber attacks. Money, you want to steal your money, And so if I now tell them, guys, we just now hard on cyber attack, we already lost $500,000 in profit right now, and we're not sure if we get it back. Right now it's this, and we have this going on and this. They will not be able to fully focus on their work.
Okay, got it.
Right?
Yeah.
And tell them later, and we all do a session. Yes, do I need to tell my close management team to get also different perspective and to make sure everybody is aware? Yes. But do we need to tell every single person in every department? I would say no. But yes, we try to be as transparent as we can, but certain things like cyber attack, like other things, I think it's also our job a bit to protect. I don't tell my kid everything. I don't let my kids see every war movie and everything. I want to protect her a little bit, and that she can also focus on her development, on her growth. I think that's important.
Giving him focus.
Yes, giving them focus, and also they don't tell me everything, right? I don't want my daughter to tell me everything in life,
Yeah.
She does now lately. She starts talking, so she's like, tell me everything. I did this, and then I changed again. Then I went to the toilet, to the loo, and But I think also with an employee, there are certain things. My project assistant Jessica, greetings. Certain things she's telling me, and certain things she tells me, no, Michael, you don't want to know. And the same for me. Certain things I tell her, certain things I said you don't need to know.
Yeah.
So I think it's just important to select this, because we have an overflow of information in companies.
Yeah.
Also nowadays with all the I CC you, I send you another voice and all this. It just overflows.
And you're a digital company.
Exactly.
So
yeah. So my team around me knows very selective what I want to hear and what I don't want to hear.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I don't want to be CC'd on any emails. I get an update on regular basis, sometimes weekly, sometimes daily, sometimes bi-weekly, sometimes monthly.
Okay.
And I trust that this information is enough. If something now happens out of, then of course on short notice they will give me additional update. But this is, you understand, this is something, it's the most valuable thing we have is the time.
Yeah.
The time you never get back.
No, never.
Right? So don't waste it. And that's something what we have a strong value deep inside us. So in meetings and other things, we don't waste it. You can call me in the evening to like have a chit chat, as we say, you know, like talk about whatever. Yes, fine. But not in my most productive time. You know, not in the morning hours, not in certain afternoon hours where I have my most productive time. You don't steal that away.
Yeah, you need to have very, very self-awareness, a lot of self-awareness
Yes.
in order to like put limits
Yes.
in your behavior and your people around you. You know?
True. Yeah.
I've been speaking. I speak with a lot of CEOs, and I think that's a really good skill, like to develop like your limits in order, like you cannot cross this thing, you cannot go call me at this time, you cannot tell me shitty things in the morning just because I'm gonna go deep on that emotion.
Yes, it's a bit of limits or even standards, right?
Yeah,
so you set the standards in your way that. So I often say, look, don't put your problems on mine. Otherwise, I put mine on yours, right?
Correct.
And then I said, okay, let's exchange a problem. You know, I have some managers when they start new and they say, oh, this is. It's okay. Let's exchange a problem. I give you this one. I take this one. I said, no, I'm fine. You know, yeah. So
that's a good one.
I think that's something you need to understand that at the end of the day, people get paid in certain positions to solve certain challenges.
Yeah.
And so that let's don't swap better, right?
Love it, that one. Let's change the problems. Man, love it. It's always like a mindset thing.
Yes.
Let's go into next question. So, what was like the first real leverage point you built that allowed you, CopeCart to stop depending from you? Because that's what many CEOs want, but they don't know how to do it, like the first big step, you know? So what have you done?
Good question. I think in general it's really about building the machine.
The machine.
Yeah, building the systems, the machine.
The systems, yeah.
To have processes, SOPs in place, what define how things should be done. Right, and we started this quite early, and I have many people who are quite jealous about it. Other CEOs, when I talk to them, and then when I show them, for example, my phone, and I have an overview of it. For example, I have a C-level team, so C-level and an extended C-level. I call it A-level team.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. The dreams A-level. So we have meetings, and every meeting is documented in a certain way. And I have everything on a database, so I can have almost like a day-to-day book of what the company is about, right? What the status is, and I go back and forth and so on. And this one needs to be set, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it's about you setting the SOPs, setting the system and the standards in the company based on your values. And then I think later, as a job as a manager or leader, is just to go in if things don't go well, if that makes sense, and then fix it, and then it becomes a new rule. And exceptions prove any rule, so I think that works quite well.
But you fix the process, not the tactic or the
exactly,
or the execution, the like the little thing. You fix the system, no?
Yeah. Yes, in general, yes, but there are exceptions as a rule. That means if, for example, we now under media attack, and that happened actually also to CopeCart one time, that, you know, it's like, then you have to directly go in. So when the house is on fire, I don't say, okay, let's now think about how to put the fire system in place, right? Then I first help to put down the fire, or to control the fire at least, and then set the system, and then I make sure that, that it's taken care of. But I always do this together as a team, right? So,
And how do you manage to make people responsible for their SOPs, process, and all this kind of stuff?
I think that's one of the essential things to build a machine. To build the beast. 100%. To build the beast machine, you need to have, and that's one of our core values, ownership, right? Relentless ownership. And we talk not about from A to B, from this department to this department, really, till the thing is done, till the customer is happy, till the money is on the bank account, till the end. and we define that in starting from our support, and we have customer relationship or customer success managers who are in charge, let's say, for your account to make you successful. Your success is our success.
Yeah.
We understand that, you know. Also, our payment method is like this, and I think almost hardly any other company actually has this as such anymore, with no subscription. We say, look, if you make money, we make money. Otherwise, we for free, at least for the payment part, mainly. And that's why, you know, it's essential to establish that.
Yeah, that's a really good value proposition.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a bit bold, I guess, on it, right? But I think to be customer centric, or fanatic, what we also have as one of our core values.
Yeah,
I think is super essential.
How many core values do you have?
5.
5.
Yeah, but it again, the main things, and then we develop out of this always a bit. Yeah.
You think the less the better?
Yes.
Always.
Yeah, probably at the beginning we did the mistake. We had way too many.
Yeah.
But then it's also you need to break it down. I think at the end we need to break it down to probably customer centric. I think is very important. Having ownership and continuous improvement. I think those are our 3 most important ones.
That's cool. Do you think, like, to have a big success, you need to take things out instead of putting more things in?
Good point. Yes, I think it's a cycle in a company. So at one point you need to put things more in.
Okay.
You know,
which do we have like some like revenue interval or something?
Yes. So we have of course KPIs and balance scorecard. Yeah.
So at what point do you need to start like taking things out, and at what time, like in terms of revenue, profit, and all these kind of things, you need to start putting like things in? Do you have like any process or way of thinking that? Do you have like any way?
Yeah. So first, I think you need to understand that no king in the past ever lose the kingdom in time where, you know, everything was calm and relaxed.
Yeah, no.
That was the time when, you know, you need to be actually prepared. So you only lose it when there was a war and, you know, things were going on.
Yeah.
So and that's also when you only can really win. So I think as a CEO, sometimes you need to run the machine again, then also let it come down, then again put more things in, then again to focus. For CopeCart, it's very clear. Our core focus is payments.
Okay.
Yeah, whether through us as a reseller or in your own name. You can do both.
Yeah.
So that's our core.
Yeah.
But then, of course, we have an infrastructure around it where I said we have different SWAT teams, so mostly even independent companies who are but super deep integrated in CopeCart.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, like you wouldn't do with any other external company. No. So it's super deep, and having then the partner as a payment, CopeCart, and this is of course super beneficial. And I think then I said now again focus full on core, and each team should focus on something. Yeah, that's important.
And are you a kind of like CEO that wants likes to prevent things, or he wants like to put things fire and then fix it?
I like to prevent things.
Prevent.
Yeah, because I tell you also why. And I'm, and some of my friends and also Andy Elliott says, look, you have OCD in this, that I'm really like structured in certain ways. I think if you not, when, you know, the bad things hit you, when shit hits the fan, you need to be better prepared.
Okay.
So I want to be ready for whatever comes.
Yeah.
And that's why I bet I like to be prepared.
Yeah.
And I think that's just, I think, you know, to be prepared, to be proactive, I think is good. Because too many things still happen spontaneously where you need, you know, time to.
Got it, man. I used to do CrossFit. The slogan is be prepared for the unpreparing things, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. That's a good point. Yes. Be prepared for the unprepared.
Yeah, that's the point. And you need to train, you need to be your best every day, improve 1%, because, for example, nobody knew that COVID was coming, you know?
Yes, 100%.
But you need to have like good mindset, good point of view of the market, good digital marketing tools.
Yeah, and already test new things, right?
Man.
Don't be Kodak, who used to own over 90% of the normal photography, and then actually had the digital, knowledge about building also digital cameras, and they even had the patent, but then they fully lost it because they was too stuck in the old ways. Same with Nokia and Blackberries and so many more.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's very important to yes, be prepared and understand your core business, but be fully open for trying new things and also have some again always startup mentality.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I like that.
Keeping grinding, keep it on the grind, be humble.
Yes, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Let's go into the next question. So what internal habit on your business has made you like the most profitable in terms of like of money, but you have made that in silence. So what's the thing that most people couldn't see and has made you a lot of money just because you have like some internal habit or like something? It's weird for most of the CEOs and other companies.
Probably to go the extra mile when it comes
mile.
also, the extra mile when it comes to the relationship.
Okay.
Some of our big clients also in Germany, for example, they had a launch and they invested a lot in paid advertisement,
Yeah.
and everybody who's listening that sometimes when you have a webinar or certain that, you invest, and this person actually invested, I think, over 250,000 euros just by paid advertisement for one day.
Yeah.
And then they didn't have the landing page and some other issues ready from their side.
Yeah.
And they told us this, and I said, no problem. It was a Saturday night and Sunday morning they did this. And I said, no problem. And I called our IT guys and I said, look, I know it's 10 p.m. at night Saturday, but we would need your help. This customer needs your help.
Yeah.
He said, Michael, I'm on my way back from a birthday party. I will be there as long as it takes. Tomorrow morning we'll be ready.
Amazing.
And I call my other 5 colleagues as well. They will do the same thing. And I think that makes a difference. And we never spoke about it. It's actually the first time I actually announced it. And thank you to our colleagues doing this, and Sasha especially as well, but any from the team who just did this in this moment. You understand?
Amazing.
So that's what it is. And it's the same thing with when it comes to cyber attacks, and I'm quite proud that, I'm telling the guys always to be 2 steps ahead from anyone to they also try to break into our system, and that's why we are so rock solid, that we are so protected as we are, because they always are 2 steps ahead. And I think that's the thing that actually really matters.
Amazing. After that, as a CEO, how do you cheer people because they have done an extra mile? How do you proceed with that? I mean, do you give them 2 days off? You give them money? You say thank you in public?
I'm not a big fan of taking off so much. No. My colleagues would say that, but they would pay it with a smile. I had yesterday a call with our CFO and the managing director from German-speaking countries, Germany, Austria, Switzerland. Yeah. I said, look, we are on vacation because we have a vacation now. That's and next week there's some vacation as well in Europe. So we have vacation, but we are there. We are there, and it's. Other people would say, Michael, why are you proud of that? It's just this ownership, that they said, no, Michael. I said, look, you guys are off on Monday, so no need. Just hand me over. I will be your substitute in our A-level call. Give me information. I will announce it. I said, no. It gives me more security to just join this 45-minute call to know everything is okay, instead of now me worrying maybe or thinking about certain things. So I just like to be there. It gives me really the whole day peace of mind and a proper day off. And I said, look, if that's what you need, then you're welcome, of course, to join. Do it make sense? So I think it's really essential to understand that it's more about life-work integration and life-work harmony.
Okay.
And you cannot switch off just the work at one point and say, no, yes, I'm the MD of the DACH region and we make 9 digits per year and millions of dollars and 100,000 of transactions each month. And then I just now be fully off and I forget everything. No, and I come back and the whole house burns. No, he says, I want to be there. And I have still my topics I'm burning for to change. And I don't want to lose the momentum in those topics. And the same thing is momentum. And the same thing if he tells me, Michael, there's a school event for my little daughter, and I want to go there, and it's at morning at 11, from 11 to 1 o'clock, or it's from 10 to 12 o'clock, and it's just for me important to be there, we will not have any, I will only say enjoy. Do it make sense? And I think that's a commitment and the ownership that a true dream team needs in today's world to really be successful. Because it's about work-life integration, work-life harmony. And it's the same thing that everyone knows from our company. At 6:30 p.m. Dubai time, I bring my daughter to bed. And they said, yes, it's fine. Yeah? This is Michael to bed. And then they call me sometimes, and if in my office, before she comes to my office, and we always have a dance before she goes to bed, and they see, sometimes I see her, so I'm just finishing, she just comes in, she says hi to the CFO, hi to this guy, hi to this guy. So we have a deep integration and harmony. The same thing on their side, you know. Another guy has always the cat running over the camera, and the other one also has a little kid sitting there. I think it's at certain points it's just important to understand, of course, customer meetings and super focus on certain things, but then also when it comes to have a bit of flexibility, when it comes to also being human and having family and work integrated.
I love the strong point of view that you have on that. Many people say work-life balance.
Yes.
You said work-life integration.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
True, big, yeah, absolutely. And I haven't met anyone who can just go out of the office, switch off the mind and say, this is it. You know, if you work at McDonald's and have a fight with your colleague, you still take this back home. You can tell me whatever you want. You still have this back home. If you have a fight with a customer or something, you don't take it and say, now I sleep very well, I forgot it. No, sometimes, yes, and we have some calls in the evening and we solve a problem, and I'm sleeping a lot better because I know it's taken care of and there's nothing now burning and escalating.
Yeah.
And I just would like to invite everyone to try this, because I think at the end it's really helping somebody to bring it forward. Yeah. And life is not only a black and white.
Yeah, my teams tell me I had a dream about customers.
Oh wow, really? Okay.
Yeah, I think we could do this on his strategy.
Nice.
They care about.
Yes.
Taking care about people.
True.
That's what you told at the beginning of this talk.
Yes, true. 100%. And look, why do the best ideas often come under the shower or when you run through the woods? Our head of marketing, Kai, he says, Michael, I have to think about it. I said, yeah, no problem. And then one day I asked him, how do you actually think about it? He said, I go for a run. You know? Yeah. And that's going to, look, this run is for him personally, right?
Yeah.
Now, of course, I'm telling sometimes, even during the office hours, I think you should go for a quick run. And as we are remote first companies, most people are working remote from home and have home offices. And then I said, look, it's now lunchtime or whatever, take a day, go running. And he comes back with the best ideas. So don't estimate and think that, we need to sit on this table now and be super creative. This is not how the world works. No. This is not how our brain works. And this is not how we move things forward.
But we were taught like this, but we need to break that habit, because this is not how we learn.
Just because school told us that this is how things were done, I think, how much are we still using from our school at university time?
And being like this, you know.
True. And I have been a professor, so I have to say
I've been studying for being a teacher.
Oh, nice. Good. Yeah. And I think it's very important, and I have full respect to everyone who's teaching other people, and I think it's super important. But it's also important to understand that the practical world sometimes works different. And if you understand both worlds and use the best from both worlds, I think then you won the lottery.
Yeah, I think we should integrate first like the movement and then the learning.
Yes.
Theoretically speaking.
Yes.
Because we learn the other way. First theory and then moving.
Yes.
But when you go, for example, to the gym, you first do the movement, you understanding your body.
Yes.
And then you understand why it works like this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Rafa does that really, really good.
Yeah, true.
He makes you, he makes the movement with you, you do it, and then he tells, hey, it's like this, like this, like this.
Yeah, Rafa is one of our both friends, close friends of mine as well. Greetings, who is really trained and I think
he has a really strong mindset.
Yeah, and has an extremely strong mindset.
Yeah.
And I think when you hear his story also where he went through, he did a podcast actually also on with me on my podcast. So have a look at it. It's quite interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, you should go. It's amazing.
It really, very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you are like mentally saturated, or you are like overwhelmed, how do you like? What's your go-to process to go back to clarity?
For me, it's always to do something outside.
To what?
To do something outside.
Okay.
As when I'm sitting in the office, it's not to go back and then, okay, Michael, now we have to cool down and relax. And I'm now sitting at my desk and relax. That will not work for me, even that I have a wonderful office and you know the view a bit.
Yeah.
But for me, it's actually, I like stand-up paddling. Do you know?
Okay.
Like, so you stand on a paddle and you pedal left and right, and very simple, left and right. You cannot have, and you should not have a phone with you. I do have it sometimes in my pocket, but you should not. And just focus on this movement, left to right, to left to right. And that helps me to fully be in my zone.
Present.
And I coming back and I have more tasks and more ideas than I would have ever in the office.
Amazing. Yeah. We need to break like what we have done to be on that mental state.
Yes.
To be in a new one.
True. And then you look at different perspective, and you had a business partner and you were disappointed at him or her, and you zoom out a bit and you see, maybe that's his perspective. Maybe he didn't meant it this way.
Yeah.
And then you talk and then you call them and later on said, no, I didn't meant it this way. I wanted this way. I said, okay. Wow, that's perfect. So why don't we do this and this, and then we all win? He said, perfect, let's do this. So I think it's sometimes to break the habits of our own thoughts.
Does your wife help you thinking out of the box?
A lot.
They have different instinct.
True, yeah.
That's amazing.
100%. I think it's in any partnership that you should have that. Yeah. I also have that also with other male friends, but I mean especially with my wife. And also keep yourself to the standards, right? So we don't talk bad about anything at home. We don't, anybody or something like. So like this is something what I think a good surrounding helps you with. That's why you should be very selective who you let in your inner circle.
Everyone is trying their best.
Yeah.
Sometimes people behave like that just because they don't know how to behave in another way.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and everybody has his own path. And, they're now running a big company in a fintech world. The other one is doing something else. I don't want to take any value in certain things, if that makes sense, right? So I think everybody's on his or her own path. Yeah. And you never know in this life where things end up.
No.
So I think it's good always to focus on yourself and be the best version of yourself.
Yeah. What things are you like unlearning right now as a CEO?
Unlearning. Interesting. Old habits, yeah. So the same thing.
Which ones?
Yeah. So let me maybe start with to explain it more in the gym, for example. So at the gym, when you want to reach also different levels, you need to behave differently to reach different outcomes, right? So, and the same is also true, of course, in business. So, for example, right now I'm working out often with Rafa, the fitness colleague. Yeah, he just texted me before I came in here and said, "Can we work out tomorrow again?"
Okay.
And so, why do I do this? Because he brings a different aspect in.
Yeah.
Right?
He's crazy,
so, he is exactly. He is crazy, yeah. So we had like 50 degrees in Dubai here, super hot. And we were inside in the gym and he said, let's go outside.
He's psycho, man.
I promise you, I wouldn't have done it alone, because it was nice and cool. You have all the weights inside. So why would we now carry all the weights outside and train in the very hot 50 degree? It was on lunchtime. But he said, so Yes, it sounds also sometimes a bit crazy, but I think going out of your comfort zone, going out and doing different patterns, that's important. And that's also what I unlearn as a CEO, to grow certain elements. But be careful as a CEO, especially when you have a bigger ship later, you know, like a cruise liner.
Yeah.
You need to, you cannot do the same curves like a speedboat. But then what you can do is you can have a second speedboat, what I call, different also satellites, where you try also different things, where you have smaller SWAT teams, where you develop only with 5 developers instead of with 60 developers on some new features.
Yeah.
And there you can be more agile. So you need to kind of understanding what context you're doing that. But overall, I think it's very important to unlearn existing behaviors.
Yeah. One thing that I love from Dubai is the mentality of people.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are here from different parts of the world
Right.
in order to achieve the new version of them.
Right.
In terms of people, business, growing, achieving your best version,
Yes.
which things have you seen that Dubai has different from other parts of the world?
Yeah. Very good question. Look, I'm here already 18 years.
Yeah,
So
that's
already
why I'm
18
asking you.
years in Dubai, that was...
You're not 10, man?
Yeah, I know. It's, at this time, Dubai wasn't cool. To come here, it was like Iraq war. It was like, Middle East. Don't go there. It's the worst thing. It's just a bubble. Everything will burst. And then to have the perseverance and say, no, I'm going anyhow. I'm building my new life here. And I directly signed off in Germany. I said, no, I like this. I think it's very cool, this new environment to build something new and to have the chance. And now it comes also to the answer to build something and to always improve. So let me give you one example. When I came here 18 years ago, to register my car on an annual basis, you need to do that, do like a test on it, get insurance paper and so on. It took me a day. So I need to take a day off because you maybe had speeding tickets, you maybe had some other things, and you had to go to different locations. You had to pay with cash, cards they didn't accept, and then they didn't have change. And like it took a whole day. It took me a whole day. Last month, I registered my car with a touch of a button on our Dubai Now app. That's one app where you have all things what are needed in Dubai.
Amazing.
And you push one button, and it was done. I had my insurance. My car has been checked while I put gasoline in at the gas station, and some guy is checking it out because they have different locations now. Gasoline checking where they check your car, and then. So the rate of improvement to permanently get better, to have the world biggest mall, and then have also the world biggest mall, to build a bigger one, to have the biggest tower. And now Dubai plans again the biggest tower. So to add always on top, to have the biggest airport here already in the region, put now the biggest airport on top, to understand that, to not look too much left and right, to just be the best version and always get 1% better. Yeah. And I think that's what I learned here, and that changed me massively. Yeah,
what I love from Dubai is what you see is what you project to people,
right,
and to the world. So if you have, if you get inspired from your surroundings,
yes,
you grow because you are
True.
You get inspired.
Yes.
So I have a really deep question for you. How do you inspire your people in terms of what they see? Because if they see shit, they're gonna produce shit. So
right.
How do you give them a really good inspirational environment and all these kind of things,
I think a good CEO or leader inspires the team to do the right things.
Okay.
So it sounds easier as it actually is, to actually inspire your team to do the right things. So what are the right things?
Yeah.
Well, it comes back to the values, to the core. What do you stand for, what you don't stand for?
Yeah.
Right? And if you stand for ownership, if you stand for continuously improvement, if you stand for customer-centric
Yeah.
Those three things what I mentioned, where you really focus on providing the best value add for your customer.
Yeah.
Even if sometimes on Saturday at 11, or even if it sometimes means that you have less profit for this month on this customer, but you made him actually more value and made him more happy. I think that are the things that count. Those long-term partnership, those long-term things. And I think, again, it comes back to understanding the values and inspire the people by having also the vision where the company is going.
Yeah, the vision.
Who do you help, right? So we help so many hundreds of thousands of digital entrepreneurs each year. We see them grow. We create, of course, jobs. Through that, right? We enable them really to sell on a worldwide cross-border and do much more. So I think on the one hand, inspire you're a good leader, and CEO inspires the team and other leaders to do the right thing, and also to develop leaders, and also to lead by the vision and mission.
About the vision,
Mm-hmm.
how do you see yourself and the business 10 years from now?
So 10 years I almost don't always want to look forward to, because then I'm also thinking, okay, first of all, I'm 10 years older. Secondly, I think...
But also wiser.
Yeah, also wiser. True, so true. But I think it's more, for me, like smaller steps. For me, it's 1 year. For me, it's 3 years and 5 years. In this time frame, I see us shining as never before. We're not in the market to just play. We're in the market to win and to dominate.
Okay.
We're not in the market to look left and right on competitors. We're in the market to look on straight on the customers, like we talked earlier. To say what can we improve? And that's what we're in for. To build something truly meaningful in this world, what really gives a good value add for our customers, independently what noises come maybe left and right, to be fully crystal cyber focused on our customers. That's my wish also for all our colleagues.
You have a really human point of view. I think that's one of your core crucial things that makes you succeed and your company too.
Mm-hmm.
Money, it's never happiness. It's never
true.
It's never the road we need to go through, and to follow the money. It's never the way. I like how you inspire your people. They're gonna see this podcast.
Thank you.
And they're gonna say, "Hey, fuck off, let's go." We're gonna go through many things, but we are gonna achieve what we want and what we have for the market.
Right.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you very much
for having us here, for spending your value time with us. It was a really nice talk. Meeting with you on that weekend.
True.
Was really inspiring for me.
Thank
you have a really strong mindset. Thanks to your team. Thanks for your time, and hope we can see you next time.
For sure. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.